We're looking at a story today about the US ambassador to Italy who used his super yacht whilst waiting for his ambassador's residence to be ready for him to move in. Now, this has been reported by the Daily Mail. It's also been reported on various social media platforms as a sort of an outrageous story or something like this. But I don't think that this story is really what they're trying to make of it. So we'll go to the Daily Mail's article and we'll read some of it, and then we'll talk on the other side. And the title of the article is American Ambassador to Italy So Displeased with Official Roman Villa. He lived on board a super yacht and commuted via helicopter. It says a Texas billionaire turned US ambassador to Italy was so unhappy with his new official villa in Rome, he lived aboard his super yacht for weeks. Tillman Fertitta, 68 years old, was nominated to the ambassadorship by Donald Trump in December and confirmed by the Senate in April. However, the hospitality tycoon and owner of the Houston Rockets did not move into the official Roman residence, Villa Taverna, until July 10th following a series of renovations to the property. Prior to that, Fertitta had reportedly been helicoptering in to his engagements on land, much to the annoyance of the locals. Airmail reports. A spokesman for his company, Fertitta Entertainment, confirmed to the Daily Mail that the ambassador opted to live on board his $150 million yacht during construction to the historic residence. Ambassador Fertitta has been living in Villa Taverna since the 10th of July and couldn't wait to move in with his family, the spokesperson said. Several weeks prior, however, during the construction, improvements to the family quarters, which he paid for, required that he live somewhere else. Rather than a hotel, he chose to commute from his yacht to the embassy, which amounted to only 3.5 weeks. Now, one of the things that's in the article it sounds funny to me, the description that they gave of the yacht, because of the non-use of nautical terms. Said his 77-meter Fedship brand vessel called Boardwalk has 12 bedrooms, 15 bathrooms, a chef's kitchen, 6 bars, a large mosaic pool, and a helipad, according to Rob Report. So a chef's kitchen or a galley, but regardless, a kitchen's quite important for any location, right, where you're going to live, whether it's on a boat or not. So anyway, it's now one of the things that the scandalous things in it says that no changes were made to the villa. This is what they said in the statement, that no changes were made because it's historical. It's a 15th century villa and it's been in use by the US State Department since 1933. But they also said in a separate news release that a series of careful renovations had been carried out prior to him moving in. Well, the thing is, so the bottom line is they're trying to make a storm out of this, and I don't normally comment, give an opinion either way, but from what I can see here, obviously because it's politics, people are going to have political opinions. What I would say to the people who have political opinions is, not just with this story, with any story, you have to ask yourself, if this story was about somebody that you liked, somebody in your team, if you like your team, would you still be upset with it? So flip it on its head and ask yourself the same question. The fact is, he stayed on his yacht. Yes, he's a billionaire, so he has a yacht. He flies everywhere by helicopter. Newsbreak, millionaires and billionaires, they fly around in helicopters and on private jets. That's just one of those things. You can argue that they should be riding a bicycle instead and all that stuff, but the reality is that people who have lots of money, they fly in helicopters. He stayed on board his yacht, which he paid for, and he used a helicopter, which he owns, and he paid for the fuel. And then the place that they were renovating, the building that they're staying in, the US ambassador stays in, he renovated it and paid for that too. Now, if he charged the money to the government, then that would be a different story, right? If the helicopter fuel had been charged to the US government, that would be another story. But that's not what happened. So he just basically didn't want to stay there. He didn't like for whatever reason. He paid to have it renovated and then he moved in. he stayed on his own yacht, which he owns, and, you know, et cetera, et cetera. So I don't see a problem with this. You can make arguments about the fact that he has the yacht or the fact that he's flying in a helicopter. These are all different arguments to make, right? And, you know, I'm not saying that they're not legitimate arguments, but, you know, you have to pick your battle, I suppose. You know, this is a super yacht channel. Obviously, we're not going to say that nobody should own a super yacht because it's a super yacht channel. So anyway, you know, it was actually interesting to look on social media at some of the responses, which is not something I very often do, but the story that was posted there was people saying it was disgusting and it was, you know, stealing money, but there's no money being stolen. It's based on this report. Like I said, he's paying for it all himself. So, and then there was other people saying, yeah, that's okay that he owns a yacht. He's allowed to use his own yacht, which is fair enough. So I think it was a mix. I think it's a non-story anyway. I think it's a story because of politics. That's the only reason. I'm sure people will disagree in the comments. It will be interesting to see. Hi, thanks very much for watching this video. If you want to see the full news videos, click on the link over here. And if you'd like to find the channels, you can find the links below here. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe.